What is the hardest thing about being a buyer's agent? From knowing where to buy, actually negotiating or settling. So that one's from settling, I should say. That one's from Arnie. So thanks for setting that one through, Arnie. And I guess firstly, there's probably not one particular thing that's hard to do as a buyer's agent, and not to trying to get some sympathy or empathy from people out there. But I'd probably say the top 5 things that we probably have to deal with on a daily basis, kind of going line by line. So the first one's probably client expectations versus reality. And what I mean by that is you can show people examples of maybe what you purchase, what their money's going to get them, etc. But some people will come in and think they're buying a brand new property, and the reality is we buy established properties. That's what we do. That's what we're not good at. We're excellent at. And you're not going to get a property that's not been lived in. So when you go do a building and pest inspection, not to mention, to be fair, that even brand new homes really have items flagged on their building and pest inspection. There's going to be things. It's not perfect. It's not an unused car, right? It doesn't come with a warranty. So just understanding, I guess, a bit of that in terms of expectations versus reality, which I know from the parts that I work from the strategy side, the property brief side with clients, onboarding clients, that I really try and make sure that clients have a really clear understanding in terms of what we do. But sometimes people come in, they want a property in a metro location with 4 beds, 2 bathrooms, double roller garage for a price that's just a unicorn, doesn't exist. So it's about making sure those expectations align. I would probably say one of the more frustrating things is dealing with selling agents, because you do have some selling agents which really understand what we do. We're there to essentially help broker a deal that's in the best interest of both parties. It's a lot of people will think that you're hiring a buyer's agent to go out there and screw over the person selling the home, which it just doesn't work like that. We're dealing with properties where a vendor has an expectation and there's more demand than there is supply, but it's about making sure everybody walks away a winner. I think that's a really big one. So the problem with dealing with the selling agents is that they're not always forthcoming with the truth, whether you're doing it as a buyer's agent or a professional. I guess what I will say, for us being professionals doing it every day, because we get to deal with them so often, we do get to form a lot more deeper relationships. We also, I guess, have that camaraderie built in terms of they understand what we do. We understand the problems that they go through as well. So they are a little bit more, I guess, forthcoming with some stuff, but it doesn't still mean that we don't get cowboys that lie through their teeth and just aren't dishonest. And I guess we just try and hold them to account, or we don't look to work with them. So there's dealing with the agents, a big one. The third one is probably, dealing with also emotional buyers. Not everybody, which sometimes I speak to clients and they're like, why would people care? But not everybody has the ability to shut off their emotional side in terms of, they're assessing the property and whether they're thinking, what the color scheme of A, B, and C looks like, what the floor plan looks like, when the reality is, if we're buying a fairly ordinary home that's common for the area, what you want as a buyer, you're not living there. So that those, I guess, personal preferences need to be left at the door. Same as, your personal bias to whether the property's in a regional or a metro location. The data is kind of very conclusive on this, that there is no difference. If anything, the data shows that in regional locations over the last few decades have actually outperformed metro locations. So it's really just trying to get people away from their own emotional biases and really just trying to keep them to be a logical faced buyer. The other one is just stakeholder management, because, it's not only the client that you're dealing with through the process. You're dealing with, conveyancers, you're dealing with property managers, you're dealing with building and pests inspectors, you're dealing with agents. So making sure, all of that is really accessible information. It's being fed down to, the client as well. That's a big part of what we do. And then I'd probably say the other one that makes our job really hard is just other buyers agents, because there are a lot of cowboys out there that really